So welcome to my first official studio vlog. So this is something I have wanted to start for ages, and I've actually filmed several little intros to this, filmed little segments and everything, and then you know when imposter syndrome just hits and you never actually do anything with it because you're, I don't know, worried about how it's going to be perceived or if you look silly. So I've decided I'm just going to actually go for it. And rather than waste all the little clips that I've done, the first one is going to be a little look at my last couple months, the segments that I've shown in the studio, and it's going to be a little roundup of, how the summer's been. I've been working loads on my Ocean Lovers Guide, which I talk about in all these little segments. I'm now at the stage where I'm finishing off the final paintings and then pulling it all together, which is really exciting. So yeah, this vlog is just going to show you kind of what I've been doing, and then next week I'll do a fun little look at loads of the species and stuff I've painted for the Ocean Guide, and then we'll be getting into Christmas fun. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of keep all the pieces that I filmed for this, show you the things I've been working on, and just put the first vlog out there, just not do something that's perfect, just get it out there, see how it goes and keep doing it, because this is something I really want to do. I want to show what it's like working in my studio, where I go get my inspiration, whether that's rock pooling or snorkeling, and I really just want to start taking you all along with it. So let's just put it out there and see how it goes. Today the sun is actually out, so yeah, I'm working on a few pieces. It's very much a fish day in the studio. I've got a sea bass on slate that I'm trying to finish off. I've been playing with some really nice metallics on this to really sort of get the shimmer to those scales. I absolutely love painting fish, and scales are a wonderful but time-consuming thing. So these scales have taken a long time to try and build up. So this is a little labour of love, but I'm hoping to try and get him finished today. And then I've also done my nice base layer of a baleen wrasse. So this is the real brown orangey base layer, and then I'm going to build up those really nice tones. Yes, it's going to have like some reds in there, and then it's going to have the pop of the markings coming through. We actually snorkeled with this wrasse really recently, and oh my gosh, it was beautiful. So it's just kind of made me really want to paint him more and just capture that beauty. So yeah, let's dive right in. I'm gonna put the older clips in order first, and then at the end you'll see the little clips from the studio today, and then hopefully going forward it will just be weekly, it won't be months of build up. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the little roundup. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you what I'm working on today, and we can just have a little chat in the studio. So this is my inspo for today. Get up there. This is a netted dog whelk, and this was found on actually a snorkel beach comb, and I loved the colours of this. It's got some really nice orange tones, it's got those browns, it's really earthy, and it's just got the lovely texture that a netted dog whelk has. So if you look at it, it's got all those sort of bevels going up, and it is just a really beautiful shell. So I've been building up the layers on this piece. As you can see, there's so much texture, there's so much colour there, and to try and get that sort of depth in it, it's all about layers. A lot of my work kind of focuses on layers anyway, but this one is a bit more of a challenge to get it. So let's show you where I've got at the moment. This is kind of where we're at. So at the top here, you can see more of the initial layers. They're a lot lighter in colour, because I always start lighter and then build up the dark. And they haven't got the detail to them, they haven't got that depth, and they haven't quite got that texture of the shell, because they're just building it up, mapping it out where I want to go with colour, and yeah, seeing where we get to. And then at the bottom here, coming nice and close, this is where I started building up that real texture to the shell. So this is like focusing on those really tiny segments that build it up, and really adding to that. So yeah, I've started doing that there, and you can see the difference, and this is what I'm working on today, and I will show you how I get on basically. So yeah, let's come back to that in a bit.
So you've seen the painting before, so now this is me building up the layers. This is a really sped up clip. I really wish it was actually this quick to paint a piece. But yeah, I'm just building up those darker tones. With watercolour, you have to go back a lot with water, so I just keep going back, building that up, and this was develop all those really nice browns in each of the little segments with the shell. With a shell of this much detail, it is quite a long process, but it's a very fun one. So then now jumping to something else, because I like to work on lots of pieces at once in the studio because I can let one piece dry while I go and work on the other. So this is working on a lobster on a piece of slate. This is something I've started this year, which is working on found pieces of slate but still with watercolours, which is quite rare to see watercolours on a different material. So I'm putting on my really nice base layer. I just cover it all in white, and then I leave this to dry for about 24 to 48 hours till it really sets, and then I can go in with the watercolours.
Hi guys, and welcome to a Friday studio vlog. So I have been in here this morning doing some admin. I have got Rock Oyster Festival next week, which I'm so excited for. It will be my first time exhibiting there, so I think it's been a great weekend. Fingers crossed that the weather is dry. It's quite blue out there today, so I'm hoping we'll have something similar next week. So yeah, I've just been prepping some bits for that. I'm doing a watercolour shell painting workshop while I'm there, so I'm just making sure I've got everything prepped for that session. I've got some funky shells that people will be able to paint from, some nice big scallops, and we're going to have some mussel shells, and of course, because it's rock oyster, we will be doing an oyster shell painting, which will be really cool. And then, as well as that, I've just been doing a few admin bits, which I probably won't go into detail of because that's a bit boring for you. But I've also been working on some more wildlife paintings. So today in front of me I'm doing finishing touches to my common prawn. Here he is, this little fella. So if you don't know much about common prawn, they can be absolutely tiny little creatures, and you can find them in rock pools. Often they have quite a clear body, so when you see them in the water sometimes they're quite hard to spot because they blend in, but it's when you see them moving and when you look up for this you'll see that, and then you can follow them and keep your eye on them. But they're really fascinating to watch. They're sort of in the mid-tide zone if you want to go at like a low tide and then get on that mid-tidal zone and have a look for them there. We went to Porthpean recently in the pools down there, and there were loads of them going through and you could see them. And yeah, it's really cool to then see all their markings and everything that they've got on their body and just see them scuttling around. So that is what I'm working on today. I've been doing a few other pieces in the studio this week. I've got very basic layer on a scallop shell. Very first layer, so I'll be adding detail to that, so I'll show you that as I progress and what I'm painting on. And then the last time I put together some stuff for the vlog, I was starting a lobster painting on a found piece of Cornish slate. So I'm hoping to try and get that finished today. We'll see how far I get with it, so I will show you that as I'm working on it as well. So let's get back to the painting and crack on.
Now just working on building up some really subtle little layers to this prawn. I'm just sort of pulling out his antennas a bit. So this is really simple little steps. I always use my really long rigger brush for this because I just find it's the best for getting in there with finer details, and to be honest it's one of my favourite brushes because details are my favourite to go in and do. So after a busy morning in the studio, we've come out for a little lunchtime walk, me and Alf. So we're just walking down to the valley to get some air, and it's on and off raining, but it's not too bad, so yeah, it's quite nice. My little buddy bounding along, ready to get to the valley so he can have a run around. So earlier in this vlog, I showed you when I was starting this lobster piece and sort of the process of prepping the found Cornish slate. So this is where we're at so far. I've got that really nice bold layer of blue, and I'm now just sort of working on all of his legs, and I'm going in and building in the darker tones. So with watercolour I always work light to dark, so now I've got that nice sort of light layer on and I know where I'm going with it. I'm going to start going around all the edges of his legs, building up with the dark blue on one side and then sort of getting that brown sort of ochre colour on the other and blending them together, and it just sort of gives those really nice tones to the lobster. Always leaving enough sort of white and going in with that because lobsters have so many shades in them and they have lots of lovely white accents. So yeah, this is just the process of me working into that on this beautiful piece of found Cornish slate.
At the moment I'm really focused on a project of illustrating and talking about our native marine life here in the UK. I think we have a lot of species that don't get a lot of appreciation, and I think sometimes we aren't aware of the diversity that we have in our waters. People are often aware of big mammals such as seals, but they don't know, all the species of anemones. We have the vast amount of species of fish, how great the seaweed is. We have all these tiny things that we just don't really think about, and I want to educate on them, I want to celebrate them, and yeah, I just want everyone to enjoy our marine life, connect with nature, and hopefully that will encourage you to want to help protect it as well. So I have been working on a really big project called the Ocean Lovers Guide. I am pulling together all of these illustrations, all of this loveliness that I'm learning about our marine life, and putting it into this interactive, fun book that is going to help you connect to the ocean. The goal of it is to be accessible to everyone. You don't have to have studied marine life to be able to read the words in it. You can just read it, pick it up, put it down, get out there and go and explore. It will have interactive elements, so you can sort of write about what you find and just really connect with it, basically. I think even in my sort of journey with marine life, I've learned that kind of the more I learn about it, then the more I go out there, whether it's rock pooling or snorkeling or just ambling along the beach, and I notice more, and I feel like I've really got this connection to it. And I think it is really that thing, the more you learn, the more you see, and the more, I don't know, instill something and like bring something alive in you that you want to get out there, you want to see it, and it's just a really magical feeling. And I hope that through this book everyone gets that, and everyone feels the feeling that I feel when I get in the water or I see a really cool species. So yeah, that's a little bit of like a rambly intro. So I've been filming some little snippets from the studio over the past few weeks of like studio vlogs to kind of show you the process where I'm going with the book, how the illustrations are coming together, the things I'm learning. I film a lot of my like rock pooling adventures, snorkeling adventures, coast walks, and all of that. So I just wanted to do a bit of an intro to what the project is, a bit about myself, and yeah, just kind of bring it all together. So I grew up here in Cornwall, and I'm really lucky that it kind of instilled in me from when I was young this appreciation of the sea, and I think I've kind of always naturally had that instinct to go out there and connect with it. So that's a little about me. So today in the studio we're working on a few things. So this is a little shell piece I was doing earlier. So this, oh, where is it gone? It's an otter shell. This is my inspo, a little broken piece that I found. So I kind of took the colour inspiration from this, and then I've made this. So these have such beautiful colours in them. I think sometimes you get them and they remind me of like sunset colours because they're like really orange and yellow and then just really beautiful. So that's one thing that I'll be working on. A big sort of part of the Ocean Lovers Guide for me is to identify shells that we found on the shoreline, but then learn about the creature that was in that before. And then sometimes you'll go into a rock pool and you'll see the live mollusk of that sort of going around, and you get to learn a bit more about it. So that is one that's on today. And then I've got a little array of cockles here, as you can see, and I'm on the really first initial sketches of that one. He's really rough at the moment. I'm about to put some layers on that. And then in the complete opposite direction of those gorgeous little micro marine life, I've been working on a big basking shark. So this is lots of detail, obviously building up that big mouth that they have. So that's that one. So a lot of my pieces for this guide I've worked on a bit of a smaller scale, just because I've got so many to get done. There's sort of a small scale for this, and then it builds up to the book, and because the book isn't going to be massive, they don't need to be a huge size. But sometimes I love to work bigger. I always want to work bigger. So I've also got a bit of Puffin on the go, so he's a bit of a bigger size. But yeah, today is kind of just about working on lots of pieces for the book. I'm kind of focused on sort of the shell species at the moment because they're a bit, I just want to get through a bit more of the bulk of the paintings for the book. The shell ones aren't, none of my work's ever quick because it's a lot of layers and it's a lot of detail, but I find I can complete a shell a lot quicker than I can complete a fish, because obviously fish have so many scales and colours and it's a lot harder. I like to build that up a lot, so those layers can take a long time, whereas some of these shells I can pull together a little bit quicker. Never a quick process. But yes, that's just kind of a little insight into the book and insight into what's going on in the studio today. And yeah, I'm going to crack on with some more painting and I'll show you it as we go.
So as you saw in the little sneak preview of this, it was a really basic first layer of a cockle. So now I'm going to start building up those tones. The one I'm going off is a really sort of like grey neutral tone one. So I've kind of got the light base, and now I'm going in building up those really dark grey lines that sort of, so the bevel to the cockle and really build up its shape and give it that sort of three-dimensional look. So I'm going in with that, and then I'm just blending out the really dark grey layer so it sort of still has those light tones in the middle, and you sort of get the definition of the two colours. So yeah, that is working in that, and you can see my little inspiration of all my little cockles there, so I can kind of see an overview of all of their shape and their details and kind of take a bit of inspiration from each of them.
So the next piece that I'm about to start working on in the studio is a little cuttlefish that I'm going to do on this gorgeous piece of Cornish slate that I've collected. So I've got this piece here, and I just love the colours on it. I just think they're absolutely stunning. It's got so many sort of tones on the rock, and I just like, it's quite a nice size that I thought would be really cute to do a really like miniature painting on there. It's got loads of gorgeous negative space. So yeah, I just really want to use this piece for something. I think it's amazing. So I've kind of given myself a really simple sketch of kind of the size and composition of the cuttlefish. So I've kind of got this lip reference in front of me here. Yeah, just really rough, but give me a bit of a guide. So I've done that, and now I'm going to get sanding the slate. I'm going to be a bit careful with how I sand this one. I normally sand it so it gets all smooth and it's really nice to then put the base on. But I just want to be a bit careful on this because I don't want to sand off too much of that really yummy, lovely colour on the top. So yeah, let's get sanding and then I can put base on.
Bit of sanding ASMR here.
Off the slate, and I have now put my base layer on. So this is what it looks like now. It's got a nice base coat, and then that helps me put the watercolour on top. The only downside of slate paintings is I now have to leave this for 24 hours, and that just leaves that whole layer to fully dry until I can then layer up the watercolour. So it's not the best for when you're impatient and you just want to get on with the painting. But yeah, that's that base down. So we'll come back tomorrow and then we can start getting some paint on the cuttlefish. Exciting. And now I'm probably going to sand off another little piece of slate to get another base coat on, so then I can kind of start on both of them tomorrow. So I think the other one that I'm going to be working on is a sand eels piece. I have the slate somewhere, here it is. So this is a really nice piece again. It's already quite smooth, but it's really like, it's got a really nice shine. It's quite nice with the sunlit there, you can see in it. So yeah, that's really smooth already, but I'm going to give it just a quick sand over to check it's all good. And then I want to do a little shoal of sand eels on here. They're a species that we've seen quite a lot snorkeling, and it's really incredible. You'll just sort of be in the water and then you're just suddenly in this beautiful shoal of sand eels, and in some of the light they're like almost clear, and then you see that sort of glisten on their scales, and it's just stunning. I actually have a picture on my studio wall of them, and you can just sort of see the way their bodies move like through the water, and it's incredible. So I want to try and capture that on this piece of slate. Yeah, and then I'll probably go in with some really nice metallic watercolours and stuff just to really get that effect of the sand eel. So yeah, on to the next one. So I have now put the base layer on the shoal of sand eels, and I've sanded it all off, which is looking good. It's getting so dark early now that I'm already losing loads of light in the studio. So this will probably be the last little vlog video I do, but I'll show you this one. It looks really weird with this one just as the base because you can't see all the details of the sand eels. They're quite funny shapes, but yeah, this is kind of the base of it, just that shoal coming across. You can see in this sort of reference picture, if you can see, they're just kind of all going across, and you kind of get that wiggle of their shapes. I'm trying to kind of get that across with the shoal. But yeah, I'm going to leave both of those to one side and I'll work on them tomorrow, and then I'm just going to crack on with some other paintings this evening. So yeah, thank you for watching.